And before he sits down, it is my pleasure to tell you that the class of 2010 keynote speaker will be the Honorable Dr. William Bratton.
Good morning. Mr. President, Board of Trustees, a special thank you to Adjunct Professor and Colonel Dean Esserman. Thank you for the honor that you have just bestowed on me and that you will shortly bestow on over 1,000 sitting anxiously in front of me. I also want to thank you for the warm-up act. Keep the day job. Seriously, I've attended many college commencements and graduations, and that was the best. But thank you. I'm going to be a little more serious with you, but hopefully that I will also be brief. 374 years ago, the school that bears his name, Roger Williams, fleeing religious persecution in Massachusetts, arrived in what is now the state of Rhode Island. And upon his arrival, he said, "God's merciful providence shines down upon us." Well, today, quite clearly, God's merciful providence, for which the city across the bay is named, shines down upon us. We have this beautiful morning to celebrate your accomplishment. In a few moments, you will step onto this stage to have your years of hard work acknowledged. You'll be happy to know that I am from the 3B School of Speechmaking. Be brief, be good, be gone. I will be brief. It's up to you to say how good I am, but I will soon be gone, and you will be up here. Winston Churchill, at the conclusion of World War II, at an event very similar to this at Eton College, had been asked to be the commencement speaker and had been asked to speak to the reasons for his success in leading his country through its darkest hours, but its finest hours, and ultimately winning World War II. And Churchill, who was known for his oratory skills and the length of those skills, stood up, went to the podium, and in that wonderful accent of his that you have all probably heard at some point in time, said, "I've been asked to speak about the reasons for my success in leading our country. The reasons for those success are as follows. Never give in. Never give in. Never give in. Thank you." And he sat down. Very uncharacteristic for Mr. Churchill, but he understood his audience. There are two types of speeches, long ones and good ones. Mine will not be long, and again, it will be up to you as to whether it's a good one. My wife, Ricky, in her book, Fairy Tales Can Come True, and for hopefully all of you in your life, whatever your fairy tale, it will come true. One of the quotes that she uses is one from Emile Zola, and it is, "I've been asked what I have come into this world to do. Let me tell you, I have come to live out loud. I have come to live out loud." And that is what I encourage you to do, to live your life out loud. The education that you have received here at Roger Williams has prepared you wonderfully, comprehensively, to now go forward and to live out your life. You will choose how that life is to be led. Sometimes there'll be obstacles in front of you that you hopefully overcome. But if you don't, continue as Churchill did, to never give in and to keep moving forward. There are several Chinese expressions that I would like to share to form the rest of my remarks. The first is, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Well, today, as you step onto this stage, it is the beginning of your journey into your careers, into your adult lives for many of you. It is a journey that you have looked forward to, and one that you will ultimately determine is success or failure. The second is that may you live in interesting times. We live in extraordinary times. The challenges that you and your generation will face we have not faced for almost 2 generations. We are a country at war. We are dealing with incredible issues here at home of immigration, economy, tensions, political. We are an unsettled world and an unsettled country. 40 years ago, 1970, I returned from 3 years of military service and a year in Vietnam and joined the Boston Police Department at age 23. It was also interesting times, extraordinary times. We were a country that had really lost our way. We had just emerged from the civil rights era of the 1960s with the horrific race riots, the assassination of the civil rights leader Martin Luther King, the presidential candidate and civil rights leader Robert Kennedy, the stepping aside of a President Lyndon Johnson because he felt that he was not able to heal the tensions within our society. And as I entered the Boston Police Department, it was a challenging time for my profession. We were being asked to change, as so much of America's society was being asked to change. And I was fortunate during that time, as I entered a profession that was not a good one, with too much corruption, too much brutality, too much racial insensitivity, a profession that had lost its way. Over the next number of years, I was very frustrated with that profession. I came close to leaving it. But during my college education, paid for by the federal government that was seeking to professionalize policing, seeking to take new young members of that profession and try to educate them, I benefited from that education in ways that I hope that my departments and my country and the many men and women that I've been privileged to lead and serve with have benefited from that education, as the world will hopefully benefit from yours. I had 2 instructors that particularly impressed me during that time. During my formative stages as a police officer, I was fortunate I was not wrapped in the blue cocoon that so many of my colleagues became wrapped in, where all of their time was spent with police officers, dealing with the terrible societal issues of that day. I was attending college at the same time, and I was exposed to Betsy Useem and Dr. Avanides. Betsy Useem, 2 semesters of urban geography, the importance of cities in our lives, the importance of cities as a place of learning and a place of moving our culture forward. And I was exposed to art by Mr. Avanides, Art Appreciation 1 and 2. There's a lot of art that I don't like, a lot of music that I don't like, but during that period of time, even as I was entering a society with all of its racial tensions, in a society that was really trying to find its way, his course taught me to understand people, because we are a nation of diverse peoples. And there is no more important element in American societal life than police in dealing with the diversity of our great country and its many peoples. And so I have been, as acknowledged in the comments as to why I'm receiving this honor today, been a leader in fighting for my profession to be seen as not the flashpoint for racial tension in this country or immigration tensions, which we now face, but rather that we will be the cutting edge of compassion, of humanity, of open-mindedness. And we have come a long way. We still have a long way to go. And that's the greatness of our life, your lives that are just beginning. You can help to change the future. You can help to change destiny. I have had the opportunity over these last 40 years to have helped to create some of that change, to have worked with great leaders, political, police, academics, researchers, great leaders such as Colonel Dean Esselman, to help to make this country a better place, a more tolerant place, to make it a model for the rest of the world, our democracy, to make it a beacon where so many thousands seek to come here for education, work, and freedom, much as Roger Williams did 374 years ago. You, as you leave here today, you have the opportunity to live your lives out loud. But you're fortunate you live in a country that allows you to make that choice. I encourage you to live the life out loud. I encourage you to embrace Mahatma Gandhi, the great Indian civil rights leader. His words that so influenced me for so much of my life. To create change, you must become the change. I encourage you with the great gifts that you now have, that you now possess, and that diploma that you're about to receive will acknowledge that you don't squander those gifts, the gifts that you work so hard for, that your family sacrificed so much for. Rather, I encourage that 40 years from now, and believe me, those 40 years will go by very quickly, that you don't look back, that you don't cheat yourself during those 40 years, so that when you do look back, that you don't find yourself saying, I wish. Rather, you say, I did. Thank you.